So, do pet portrait artists need a mailing list, and what do you even say on them? Hi, I'm Sema Martin. I'm a pet portrait artist and have been for the last 10 years, and I'm doing these daily vlogs to help others understand what the pet portrait market's like and how to sell your pet portrait art. So, in terms of a mailing list, it's something that I feel quite strongly about, to be honest, because it's very important and doesn't really get spoken much about, especially in the art industry. Everyone's very vocal about how you should be on social media and you should have your own website and things like that. But no one is really talking about the importance of having a mailing list. And I do feel like that's way more important than being on social media. So if you ever had to concentrate on just one thing, I would concentrate on building an email list of potential clients. And now what that means is that people have given you their email address to be contacted by you either weekly or monthly or however you phrased it, about what they've signed up for. So in terms of a pet portrait artist, you might ask people to sign up to your mailing list so they can be in the loop in terms of when your commissions are open, see weekly completed commissions or monthly completed commissions, that kind of thing. And then that's what you would follow through with and do, because that's what they've signed up for. So in terms of that means you then get their email address. It's yours, it's your data. If your website broke, if Instagram decided to delete everybody's accounts, if Facebook no longer works, if TikTok's gone down the drain, if anything like that happens, you've still got a list of people that love your work, that are interested in what you do, and you can still email them to get sales. You can still speak to them. They're your audience. So it's almost like a backup as well as proof that those people are willing to exchange their email address to know more about you. They're very committed in that way. In fact, they're more committed than a follower. A follower will just click follow and probably never see your post again, whereas an email subscriber have literally found your website, found your mailing list, typed in their information and clicked subscribe. Like, a lot more goes into it to show that commitment of wanting to know more about you and your work and your art and your pet portrait commissions. So they are very committed to you, more committed than a follower, which is why it's very valuable to find more of these people, because they will be your client more than a follower or someone who has liked a post. Again, a like, you just press like, it doesn't show that much commitment, even though it's very helpful. Thank you for the likes, I appreciate it, and those followers. But if people who are subscribing to you are showing more commitment and how they value your artwork in the way that they possibly want to buy in the future. So that's the sort of category of people that you're looking for to make sales with. So things that you could say to these people in order to get some subscribers is, the example I said earlier is to sign up to stay in the loop, sign up for, monthly commission, completed commission stories, or sign up to see my latest drawings, or maybe you can give something. So I used to give a little photo guide. So I'd say sign up to get your free photo guide on how to take the perfect picture of your pet. Or you can do another thing. I used to do sign up to get, a free wallpaper for your phone, and people can download it and have it as their wallpaper for their phone. But that doesn't really work for a pet portrait artist, which I found out, because people only want portraits of their pets on their phone, not somebody else's. So it works if you're a different kind of artist that, I don't know, paints florals or people or whatever that hasn't anything to do with commissions, because then they would want to have your artwork as the wallpaper on your phone. So it's sort of like trying out different things, different ways that people value that you can give, so people can sign up, exchange their email address for that value that you're trying to give. Another thing could be a downloadable portfolio. Sign up to get my portfolio that you can look through, kind of thing. So those are sort of ways that you can entice people to exchange their email address for something else that it has to be related as well. It has to be related to you or pet portraits or commissions or something that you can then try and sell them in the future. So it can't be something completely unrelated to what you're selling, if that makes sense. And then emails that you can send out could be things like weekly emails, things that you've completed weekly. If you create artwork quite quickly and you have 3 or 4 things to talk about in a week, then I would send out weekly emails saying these are the portraits I've completed this week, and then the little stories behind them. People love that. I personally do a monthly email, so in the month, like I guess the first of every month, I would send out an email saying this is all the commissions that I completed last month, and I would show pictures of the commissions, I would give little stories, and then lastly I would give any sort of announcements. Yeah, I would give an announcement and talk about anything that's coming up that they can be looking out for. So say I'm going to do I don't know, a sale. I used to do a lot of sales when I first started out, so it would be like a sale on January of every month. I don't do sales anymore, but that's what I used to sort of build up the idea of being in the list. You get an exclusive discount kind of vibe. I'm not saying that you should do that. I personally don't do it anymore because I do feel like it devalues my art by giving money off. So in terms of giving more value, instead of giving money off, I add more value on. So I like to do things like, if you buy a portrait this month, you can have it framed for free. Normally I charge extra for framing. This time I don't. So things like that. So instead of giving money off, I give more value. And those are the kinds of little announcements that you can make at the end of your email, or just generally weekly, monthly, whatever you feel like doing. It also allows you to send out emails like, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that kind of thing, just to remind people I'm still here and here's my work. I still draw pet portraits kind of vibe. It's so important to send those like milestone, are they milestone or event emails? I guess they're event emails, aren't they? So I find those really important because I've had so many commission sales come out of a Christmas email, because I've reminded people sometimes on the happiest day, they've had a joyful day with their family, they've had a nice meal, they're merry. They open an email from me if they're on their phone, for a little bit, saying Merry Christmas, here are some of the pets that I've drawn this year. They get excited. They're like, oh, maybe I'll commission a pet for next year kind of vibe. And then they email me, we exchange we exchange information, they pay, and there's another commission for me for next year. So I've actually had quite a few people that have messaged me during the Christmas period because I've sent them an email. Like, I've reminded them of my existence, of what I can do, what I can provide, the value that I can give them in their lives by drawing their pet or a friend's pet kind of thing. So that's why I feel like emails are really important. Also, even though not everybody will open every email, it gives them a chance to be present, to see what you're doing. Whereas on social media, it is getting harder and harder to be found. So trying to funnel people from your social media to an email list is a great idea. Things to make email lists on. The number one thing I'd say is like something like MailChimp. You do have to pay for it and it can be expensive, but only after like 5,000 emails. which is a harder number to get to if you're just starting out, so that's fine. But MailChimp is great for basically storing data, sending out emails, that kind of thing. Also, if you have your website on Squarespace, Squarespace now does emails as well. So you can just basically add on the email pack thing that they do and send emails directly from there, which is really useful as well. So little things like that. I think Wix also now do an email campaign thing. I don't personally know because I don't use Wix, but I think I've seen other artists use Wix. So there are lots out there. There's lots of options. Some don't cost very much, some cost more. So I would go with the least amount, especially if you're just starting out, you don't have anybody on your list. Just find a free or very low cost option and start telling people to sign up for some sort of benefit, whether it's to know more about your work or to get, I don't know, a discount or to get some sort of value, to get some sort of free download. Give them an incentive to join your mailing list. And that's how you can start building a profile of people, a collection of people that have shown some form of commitment in you, in your art, that can later be nurtured and turned into clients. I've also had it where I've had someone on my mailing list for 6 years, and then they email me saying, I'm finally ready to purchase a pet portrait, and they ended up getting quite a big pet portrait in the end. So it's very helpful. You don't know who's watching, you don't know who's reading your emails, but they are committed to you in some way and will eventually buy, which is great because that's the point of doing pet portrait commissions, isn't it? So that's what I think about mailing lists. If you want any more help selling your pet portrait art, then you can click the link below to download your free prospectus for the Business of Pet Portraits course. And I will see you next time.